We're back. Got my horror cardi on. Gonna read some scary books. Wearing it to be nice and cozy, not just for the looks. What up, fiction fam? Welcome to Down to Read. My name is Stephen, and this week is my review of Catriona Ward's horror novel, The Last House on Needless Street. This book was published in 2021 by Viper. In this video, as always, or if you're a new viewer, thank you, welcome. We'll go over a summary, spoiler-free of the book, and then we'll talk about the things I liked, the things that weren't for me, and finally we'll give it a rating out of 5 stars. Now, if this book achieves a 5-star banger status, we'll give it a 5-star bonus wrap up. There are 4 main characters in this book, and each chapter is told from the perspective of one of the characters. Dee is a woman who many years ago, on a family vacation to a lake, unfortunately lost her younger sister Lulu, and she's dedicated the rest of her life to trying to figure out what happened to Lulu on that day. Dee gets a lead that a man named Ted Bannerman may be somehow connected to the disappearance of her sister Lulu. Ted lives in a rundown, dilapidated house on what is perhaps, needless to say, on Needless Street. Ted lives with his daughter Lauren, when she visits, and their cat, Olivia. Ted had a troubled relationship with his mother, which we see some scenes of as it goes to the past in portions of this book, which now reflects the way he treats his daughter Lauren, and also the way he sees the rest of the world. Lauren is a 12-year-old girl that when she comes to visit Ted is often locked away or punished in some way by Ted. Lauren is, understandably, pretty rebellious against her dad, and they have a very tense and sometimes violent relationship. This is probably a good point to say there are some pretty difficult to read passages of this book, particularly those involving Ted and his mother when we go back to the past, and Ted and his daughter Lauren in the present day. The last main character in this book is, in fact, Ted and Lauren's cat, Olivia. Meow, this can be a bit jarring at first, but it soon becomes about as normal as reading the passages of the other disturbed characters in this book. Olivia looks to the ways of the Bible for how she should live her life. Yes, this is a religious cat. And she was saved as a wee kitten by Ted, so she now feels like she has to return the favor and considers her purpose in life is to protect Ted. So in the face of it, the story of this book is Dee trying to solve the mystery of what happened to her sister Lulu and how that's intertwined with the problematic Bannerman household. But not everything in this book is how it seems. By the way, I'm wearing the cat ears for the rest of this video. Meow. The twists. How much you like this book, I think, will largely depend on whether the twists are able to catch you off guard. I like to think I'm a clever guy, clever reader, and I can usually pick the twists coming, at least before they're revealed by maybe say 20 or 50 pages, but in this book it turns out, not so much. It is both frustrating and impressive to think back to the scenes from earlier in the book after a twist is revealed, and now that scene makes so much more sense, and you think about all the clues that you missed. That's a bit of a sub point. The way these twists make you change your perspective on the characters and who you would like to see things work out for is again really impressive. It's safe to say, Catriona Ward, you impressed me. The ending. The last 15 to 20% of this book is gripping as the twists are revealed. You really just can't put this book down. So the ending of this book is great. I feel like even though some of the earlier passages are difficult in parts for various reasons, it's worth pushing through for the ending of this book. Even after the ending of this book, the afterword, is really interesting, and in fact is the part of the book that left the biggest lasting impact on me. So I definitely recommend giving that a read when you finish the book, but don't read it before then because it will ruin some twists. As great as the ending of this book is, the earlier portions of this book are sometimes really mundane and not particularly engaging. I found the portions of the book that involve Ted talking to his therapist and his interactions with Lauren to be a little bit repetitive, particularly during the middle phase of this book. Also, I found it difficult for the majority of this book to really connect with the characters. Until that last 15 to 20% when everything's getting revealed, I found it hard to care about the characters too much. In that last 15 to 20% though, yeah, I cared. I give The Last House on Needless Street 3.5 stars. This is a rare example of a book that I feel like I could pick up again in a couple of years, and even though I know the twists, appreciate the earlier portions of the book and all the clues that I missed. But I would say more than half of this book I didn't find that engaging. So the fact that I gave it 3.5 stars still should tell you how strong the ending of this book really is. Have you read The Last House on Needless Street? What did you think? Have you read another book that had a really great twist? Be sure to let us know in the comments. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see some more review videos like this one and some of the other fun videos we have planned for the channel. And as always, thank you for watching. Zhoosh. I might make this my new look, actually. Meow.